Life has never promised us anything certain. From the very first moment we open our eyes to the world, we step into an unpredictable current. Radiant sunny days intertwined with long rainy nights, moments of happiness interwoven with pains that arrive without warning. We grow up under the illusion that if we try hard enough, if we control well enough, if we prepare carefully enough, we will be able to master the future. Yet the longer we live, the more we realize that uncertainty is not a flaw of life, it is its very nature. From ancient times to the modern era, human beings have always sought to conquer unpredictability. We make plans, set goals, accumulate wealth, pursue status, and build countless systems to create a sense of security. But no matter how advanced science becomes, no matter how far technology progresses, there are always things beyond our control. Illness can arrive suddenly, loss can strike without warning, relationships can fall apart. And even our own minds can descend into chaos in the midst of a life that seems stable. It is precisely in the gap between expectation and reality that human beings begin to ask, how can we live peacefully in a world full of change? How can we stand firm when the ground beneath our feet is constantly shifting? How can we avoid being swept away by anxiety, fear, and insecurity? And deeper still, is it possible to find inner freedom within uncertainty itself? More than 2,500 years ago, one person confronted these questions directly. The Buddha did not avoid uncertainty, he did not try to escape it, nor did he attempt to cover it with superficial comforts. Instead, he observed it with awakened eyes and realized that impermanence, constant change, is not an enemy, but the fundamental truth of existence. In the Buddhist view, uncertainty is not something to be eliminated, but a doorway to awakening. When we deeply understand that everything comes and goes, emotions arise and fade, joy appears and diminishes. Sorrow emerges and then disappears, we begin to loosen our blind clinging. It is this clinging that is the source of suffering, not change itself. Imagine the mind as a river. When we try to grasp the water tightly in our hands, it slips through our fingers and vanishes. But if we learn to watch the water flow without trying to possess it, we can still appreciate its beauty without suffering when it moves on. Buddhism teaches that life is the same, we can live fully without needing to own anything forever. However, this does not mean that Buddhism encourages indifference or emotional numbness. On the contrary, awareness of impermanence allows us to love more deeply, cherish the present more fully, and live more meaningfully. When we know that this moment will not repeat itself, every breath, every smile, every encounter becomes precious. In the modern world, where speed and pressure continue to intensify, anxiety about the future becomes a constant burden. We worry about work, finances, health, relationships, and even our own identity. But Buddhism does not tell us to eliminate worry, it invites us to look directly at it with clarity and compassion. Instead of asking, how can life become more certain, Buddhism offers a deeper question, how can the mind remain steady amid all change? The answer does not lie in controlling the external world, but in transforming the inner one. Through meditation, mindfulness, and contemplative wisdom, human beings gradually learn to become witnesses to their own minds. We see thoughts arise and pass away, emotions surge and settle, fears appear and dissolve. When we realize that we are not identical with these fluctuations, we discover a deeper layer of stillness beneath all disturbance. Buddhism's answer to life's uncertainty is not a simple formula or a definitive declaration. It is a journey of awakening, a process of looking deeply into the nature of existence, and a path of returning to the peace that has always been present within each of us. On this journey, we do not try to escape impermanence, but learn to walk alongside it. We do not attempt to cling to what is changing, but learn to let go with clarity. And it is precisely in this letting go that we discover that freedom does not come from holding on, but from understanding. This teaching will lead you deep into the heart of Buddhist wisdom, where uncertainty is no longer a threat, but becomes the greatest teacher of life. Amid this uncertain world, the first thing Buddhism invites us to recognize is a fundamental truth: everything is in motion, nothing stands still. This may sound simple, but for it to truly sink into the mind, one must pass through many layers of understanding. We often think that only great things such as time, nature, or society are impermanent. But Buddhism points out that each moment within our own minds is also constantly changing. A thought arises and immediately disappears. An emotion begins to form and then shifts. A joy that seems stable can fade within just a few minutes. Even the sense of self, the thing we cling to most strongly, is merely a continuous stream of memories, emotions, and perceptions. Before seeing this, we live as if life must be stable, must go according to our wishes, must remain as we want it to be. We cling tightly to pleasant experiences and try every way possible to push away unpleasant ones. This very clinging creates the cycle of suffering. We suffer not because things change, but because we resist change. Buddhism does not deny human fear in the face of uncertainty. On the contrary, it looks directly at the root of that fear. Fear arises from a sense of loss of control, and that sense of loss of control comes from the illusion that we ever truly controlled anything at all. Look at your own breath. You can try to hold it for a while, but eventually the body will force you to breathe out. You can control the breath for a moment, but you cannot master it forever. Life is the same, there are currents greater than individual will. Buddhism teaches that instead of fighting these currents, we need to learn to move with them in awareness. One of the core elements of Buddhism's answer to uncertainty is mindfulness. Mindfulness is not about trying to empty the mind, but about the ability to see things as they are, without distorting them through expectation or fear. Most suffering comes from the stories we tell ourselves, not from what is actually happening in the present moment. When we sit still and observe the mind, we see that anxiety comes and goes like clouds in the sky. If we do not cling to it, it dissolves on its own. But if we identify with it, thinking, "I am this anxiety," we are swept into an inner storm. Mindfulness helps us stand in the position of the sky, not the cloud. Alongside mindfulness is the wisdom of impermanence. This wisdom is not merely intellectual understanding, but direct seeing. When we truly see that everything comes and goes, the way we love also changes. We love not to possess, but to cherish. We do not cling to others as property, but see them as beings walking alongside us through a finite stretch of the path. In relationships, uncertainty often causes the greatest suffering. We fear losing the ones we love, fear abandonment, fear changes in feelings. But Buddhism teaches that true love is not based on possession, but on freedom. When we love without binding, we can be together more fully, because love is no longer overshadowed by the burden of fear. Another profound aspect of Buddhism's answer is mindful letting go. Letting go does not mean coldness or indifference. It is a release from the attachments that weigh the mind down. We let go not because we no longer care, but because we understand that blind clinging only creates more suffering. Imagine holding a handful of sand tightly. The more you squeeze, the more the sand slips away. But if you open your hand, the sand is still there, and you are no longer tense. Life is the same. When we loosen our grip, we can still hold what needs to be held, but with a lighter state of mind. However, Buddhism does not stop at helping us cope with uncertainty. It points us towards something deeper, inner freedom. This freedom does not depend on whether things unfold as we wish. It arises from recognizing the selfless nature of all phenomena. When we see that the self is not a fixed entity but merely an ongoing process, the fear of loss gradually diminishes. We no longer defend a rigid ego, but live like a flexible stream. In that state, uncertainty is no longer an enemy, it becomes the natural rhythm of existence. Meditation in Buddhism is the direct path of practice for transforming the way we relate to uncertainty. When we sit in meditation, we do not try to control the mind, but learn to observe it. We clearly see the arising and passing away of each moment. Gradually, we realize that there is a deeper layer of stillness beneath all movement, a vast inner space that is not disturbed by external circumstances. In daily life, this reveals itself in how we respond to difficulties. Instead of panicking when challenges arise, we can pause, breathe deeply, and clearly see the nature of the situation. We act from clarity rather than from fearful reaction. Buddhism also emphasizes the role of compassion in facing uncertainty. When we understand that everyone is struggling with their own insecurities, we become gentler in the way we relate to others. We do not judge or blame, but listen and share. Compassion not only eases others' suffering, it also soothes our own minds. Ultimately, Buddhism's answer to uncertainty is not the search for an absolutely safe world, but the cultivation of a steady heart amid all change. When the mind is steady, the world can transform without sweeping us away. Uncertainty remains, as it always has. But the way we live with it can be completely transformed. From fear, we move to acceptance. From resistance, we move to understanding. From clinging, we move to freedom. And along that journey, we gradually discover that peace does not come from a life that is less uncertain, but from a mind that is less attached. As we arrive at the end of this contemplative journey, we may pause for a moment to look back at the path we have traveled. From fear in the face of uncertainty, we have been guided into the depth of impermanence, from blind clinging. We have been invited into mindful letting go. From a chaotic mind, we have gradually approached an inner space of stillness. Yet the Buddhist path never closes with a single concept or a final conclusion, it always remains open. Like a flowing stream continuing through each person's life. Buddhism's answer to uncertainty does not lie in turning life into a safe, straight line. It lies in transforming the way we see life. As long as we believe that happiness exists only in absolute stability, we will continue to fear every change. But when we see that peace can exist even within change, everything begins to shift. Uncertainty is no longer an enemy, but becomes a quiet teacher. Every upheaval, whether loss, failure, or transformation, can become an opportunity to understand ourselves more deeply. Every pain can become a doorway into wisdom. Every unstable moment can become a reminder to return to the breath and to the present. Buddhism does not promise that you will no longer feel sadness, fear, or worry. But it shows you a way of living so that these emotions no longer rule your life. You still cry in the face of loss, still tremble when you love. Still struggle when confronted with difficulty, but you are no longer swept away by them. You stand firm like a mountain amid wind and clouds, watching everything come and go without the mind being shaken. This steadiness does not come from force of will, but from understanding. When we truly see that everything is impermanent, we do not love less, we love more deeply, yet more gently. We no longer hold on through fear, we cherish through awareness. We no longer live in anxiety about tomorrow, we live fully with today. In the modern world, where speed and pressure continue to intensify, this teaching becomes even more precious. Amid the rush of life, Buddhism invites you to pause, breathe deeply, and look directly at the nature of existence. Not to escape life, but to live more fully within it. Imagine a day when you face difficulty without panic. You still feel the tension, but you are not swallowed by it. You can smile gently, recognizing, this too will pass. And in that very moment, you touch the wisdom of impermanence. Imagine a relationship in which you love deeply without possession. You can express love fully, while also being ready to accept that everything may change. It is precisely this freedom that makes love more genuine. Imagine a life in which you no longer chase absolute certainty, but know how to lean into the flow of life. You no longer fight the world, you merge with it in awareness. That is the deepest answer Buddhism offers to uncertainty, not controlling the world, but freeing the mind. And this journey is not something you complete in a day, a week, or a year. It is a lifelong path, the path of mindfulness, contemplation, compassion, and wisdom. Each day you practice seeing more deeply, breathing more slowly, loving more broadly, and letting go more skillfully. If the reflections in this teaching have touched you, have caused you to pause and contemplate, have planted a seed of awareness in your mind, please leave your thoughts in the comments. Each story, each experience, each perspective is a precious piece on the path of understanding life and understanding oneself. Perhaps the very words you write will become a source of inspiration for someone else who is lost amid the sea of uncertainty. And if you wish to continue walking alongside this journey of exploring Buddhist wisdom, seeking inner peace, and nurturing mindfulness in daily life, please subscribe to the channel so you do not miss future reflections. Each video is a small step on a greater path, the path of returning to oneself. Finally, remember this: life may always be uncertain, but your mind can always be at ease. Everything may change, but the awareness within you can become the most stable refuge of all. And in this very moment, right as you are listening to these words, pause for a second, feel the breath flowing in and out. Feel the heartbeat pulsing, feel life fully present. Because right here, right now, in the midst of life's uncertain flow, peace is still quietly shining within you.